A recently released dashcam video from Springfield, Ohio captures the dramatic moment a freight train derails. The peaceful railway scene is abruptly destroyed as the speeding train loses control and jumps the tracks. This train derailment in Springfield highlights the dangers of transporting goods by train. It's a reminder that safety precautions and regular maintenance are crucial to prevent such accidents. Once a provider of hydroelectric power and flood control, the Edenville Dam is now a cautionary tale. Located near the confluence of the Tittabawassee and Tobacco Rivers in Michigan, this earthen embankment dam held back Wixom Lake. Built in 1924 by Frank Isaac Wixom, the dam stood 54 feet tall and stretched over 6,600 feet. The dam featured 2 turbines capable of generating a combined 4.8 megawatts of electricity. However, by 2020, the dam's fate took a turn. Owned and operated by Boyce Hydro Power, a company with several hydroelectric facilities on the Tittabawassee River, the Edenville Dam was in a state of disrepair. While initially slated for purchase by the Four Lakes Task Force, an agreement fell through. Then, disaster struck. In May 2020, heavy rains caused severe flooding along the Tittabawassee River. The weakened Edenville Dam could not withstand the pressure. A large section of the dam crumbled, unleashing a torrent of water. The consequences were immediate and devastating. The sudden release of water completely drained Wixom Lake and rerouted the course of the Tittabawassee River. Downstream communities faced evacuations as floodwaters surged. Thankfully, there were no casualties, but the ecological and economic impact was significant. A dramatic catastrophe that occurred at an Aurora public pool last autumn echoed a situation that was similar to a previous collapse at the Gaylord Rockies Resort and Convention Center.
What the hell? Oh my God!
In a chilling parallel, the pool facility's metal ductwork gave way, raising concerns and causing disruption. The Aurora incident brought attention to the possible dangers of structural failures, highlighting the significance of thorough inspections and maintenance, as well as guaranteeing public safety in large buildings and venues. Southeast Georgia's St. Simons Sound is an inlet. Georgia's Port of Brunswick is the departure point for big tankers bound for their ultimate destination, making it crucial for the maritime sector. Unfortunately, the 660-foot vehicle carrier MV Golden Ray, which was constructed at the Hyundai Dockyard in South Korea, was never able to leave the port. Capable of transporting up to 7,400 cars globally, it measured 71,000 gross tonnage and measured 116 feet in width. With 24 fuel tanks holding 300,000 gallons of fuel, it was able to travel at a speed of about 22 miles per hour with a single diesel engine. With the intention of delivering 4,300 cars to the Middle East, the Golden Ray was due to leave the Port of Brunswick on September 8, 2019, and arrive at the Port of Baltimore on September 9th. She left Georgia around midnight, and 23 minutes later, she capsized. St. Simons Sound is only 32 feet deep, therefore it's likely that the ship's side became stuck on the bottom. The ship began to list, which is nautical for lean, and it never came back. While the captain and the other 23 crew members were thankfully spared from the disaster, the Coast Guard was still required to save 4 of them. Because the ship's fuel tanks were full when it capsized, and the 4,300 automobiles on board were loaded with diesel and antifreeze, the incident raised environmental concerns. By the end of September, the crews started pumping out the fuel, and they were able to empty 2 tanks. All they needed to do now was get the ship unstuck, which proved to be impossible due to extensive water and fire damage, which resulted in a total loss of $80 million, not to mention the cost of salvage. It took until September 26, 2021, after the ship was divided into 6 sections to remove the entire ship. Additionally, they removed nearly 20,000 pounds of debris from the area. The projected total cost of the salvage effort is around $840 million. The final assessment states that a number of issues, including erroneous figures entered into the ship's stability calculation, contributed to the Golden Ray's capsize. See this smoke billowing from a building, which captures a scene of utter horror. Despite the intense image, no injuries were recorded, which was a relief for the town. The smoke from the fire created a visible shadow over miles, where firemen worked non-stop to contain it. The blaze is thought to have originated on the building's roof. Nestled in Miami-Dade County with a population of roughly 5,600, Surfside, Florida, is a quiet beach town known for its residential beachfront communities. Multi-story condos lined Surfside Beach, which was nothing short of a paradise for residents and vacationers. But on June 24, 2021, this tranquility shattered. In the midst of an already tumultuous 2020s, tragedy struck. One of Surfside's condo complexes, Champlain Towers South, unexpectedly collapsed. Built in 1981, it was the first of a 3-tower project. The complex boasted L-shaped 12-story buildings, with the South Tower containing the most units, including 136 condos and a penthouse. At 1:14 a.m., while most residents slept, the unthinkable happened. The South Tower's pool deck caved in, followed by the entire western wing just 8 minutes later. This horrific event claimed the lives of as many as 98 people. Thankfully, rescue efforts managed to save 126 others from the wreckage. Investigations pointed to potential causes. The New York Times cited flaws in the building's design plans, while the Miami Herald highlighted issues like water damage, cracked concrete, and corroded rebar in the pool equipment room. Alarmingly, some sources even hinted at corruption during construction. A year later, a glimmer of hope emerged. Judge Michael Hansman approved a $1.02 billion settlement for the families of the victims and those injured in this catastrophic event. But this still did not change the fact that it caused millions of dollars in loss. Turbines are used in many different industries, such as power generation, aviation, marine propulsion, and industrial operations. A variety of causes, such as mechanical errors, material wear, design flows, and unfavorable environmental conditions, can cause a turbine to collapse. These mishaps provide important information for improving turbine maintenance and safety procedures. The port of Beirut, a pulsating hub of trade, was the lifeblood of Lebanon. Situated on the eastern bank of St. George Bay, it bustled with activity 24/7, handling a staggering 60% of the country's imports. From towering cargo ships to bustling markets overflowing with goods, Beirut thrived on the constant movement of commerce through its port. But on a fateful August 4th, 2020, this vibrancy was shattered in an instant. To understand this tragedy, we need to travel back in time to September 2013. A seemingly ordinary cargo ship, the MV Rosas, carrying a colossal 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate, a chemical compound commonly used in fertilizer, was detained in Beirut. The ship was unable to pay the Suez Canal toll, leading to its seizure by Lebanese authorities. The highly volatile ammonium nitrate became an unwelcome guest, finding itself stored in a warehouse on the Beirut docks. For years, the ammonium nitrate sat neglected, a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. Fast forward to 2020, and a decision that would have unthinkable consequences unfolded. In a mind-boggling move, a batch of fireworks was inexplicably stored in close proximity to the warehouse containing the ammonium nitrate. This nightmarish combination became a recipe for disaster. As dusk settled over Beirut on August 4th, a fire erupted in the warehouse. Firefighters bravely rushed to the scene, unaware of the horrific danger lurking within. Reports described an unsettling, crackling sound emanating from the blaze, a harbinger of the impending catastrophe. At precisely 6:08 p.m., the unthinkable happened. A colossal first explosion ripped through the warehouse, sending a towering plume of smoke into the sky. This initial blast, equivalent to roughly 2 tons of TNT, devastated the warehouse and surrounding areas. But the horror wasn't over. A mere 30 seconds later, a second, earth-shattering explosion erupted. This monstrous detonation, estimated to be the equivalent of 1,000 to 1,500 tons of TNT, literally shook the entire country. The force of the blast was felt as far away as Turkey, Jordan, Palestine, and even parts of Europe. It was akin to a small nuclear bomb detonating in the heart of Beirut. The aftermath was a scene of utter devastation. The once vibrant port lay in ruins, buildings were reduced to rubble, and streets were strewn with debris. In the blink of an eye, 218 lives were tragically cut short, and countless others were left injured. The economic impact was equally catastrophic, with estimates suggesting over $15 billion in property damage. Lebanon, already grappling with the immense challenges of COVID-19, a collapsing economy, crippling unemployment, and a defaulted government, was pushed to the brink. The Beirut explosion became a global news story, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating consequences of negligence. Even today, the scars of the explosion remain etched on the city and its people. The reconstruction efforts are ongoing, but the emotional and psychological trauma will undoubtedly linger for years to come. One of the tragedies that people occasionally cannot fully control in life is road accidents. On the A44 in Jaén, Spain, a tragic road moment occurred when a truck overturned. Things took an unexpected turn when a rescue crane trying to lift the truck overturned and struggled against its enormous weight.
Estaba en perfecto estado. Pues mira lo que ha hecho la grúa con el camión. Que se ha volcado la grúa en lo alto de...
This unexpected turn of events necessitated a protracted road closure, which caused hours of traffic jams. The Suez Canal, a vital artery for global trade, quite literally keeps the world's goods moving. It connects the Middle East, Asia, and Europe, facilitating the passage of a significant chunk of the world's oil. Roughly 7 to 10% of global oil travels through this waterway annually, with an average of 1 million barrels a day. Imagine the global economic ripple effect when a giant container ship, the Ever Given, got wedged in the canal for 6 grueling days. Experts estimated that every hour of this blockage caused a delay of $400 million worth of goods. By the end of each day, it remained stuck. The disruption escalated to a staggering $9 billion. So, what caused this maritime mayhem? On March 23rd, the Ever Given, a behemoth at 1,300 feet long, was traversing the Suez Canal when it encountered a sandstorm. Fierce winds, clocking in at 46 miles per hour, took control of the vessel, turning it sideways and causing it to run aground, effectively blocking the entire canal. Being part of a 21-ship convoy sailing from Malaysia to the Netherlands, the Ever Given was just the 5th vessel entering the canal. Its misfortune stranded not only itself but also 15 ships behind it. The process of freeing the Ever Given took a painstaking 6 days, but the domino effect on the global supply chain reverberated for months. This incident served as a wake-up call, prompting a re-evaluation of how global supply lines function, particularly our dependence on just-in-time manufacturing. As Michael Safi, a writer for The Guardian, aptly put it, this was a worst-case scenario that many saw coming. Beyond the colossal cost of the stalled cargo, a settlement with the Egyptian Suez Canal Authority cost the owners and insurers of the Ever Given a hefty $550 million. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and comment.